Hello friends, I'm recording this video after reading the blog from Ajit, which which shows you how to build a secure VM based on LinuxKit on Microsoft Azure Platform. So this video is just a quick guide to running VMs based on LinuxKit images on Azure. All the steps what I will be carrying out, I just referred from this blog from Ajit. So the first step is to clone the LinuxKit project from GitHub, and as you see on my screen I have the latest code uh, while recording this video. So once you have the Git project cloned onto your local, it's time to build the code using the make tool. So go into the root directory of the project and execute the command make, uh, which would start the build process for you. And if you're doing this for the first time, the build would take some time to get completed, so be patient while the tool is getting built for you. So once the build is complete, there would be two tools which we generated for you, which would be under the bin folder, and if you navigate over there you can see LinuxKit and Moby. You would have to copy these under the folder user local bin, so that you can make use of it. Now it's the time to install the Azure command line interface tool. So you would have to execute this curl command on your terminal to get that installed. So once the Azure CLI is installed, you would have to restart your terminal sessions so that it gets included into your path variable. So for that you need to execute the above command words there on the terminal. Now navigate to the folder where you cloned the LinuxKit project and go into the examples folder. So we are going to build Azure VHT. So if you see, you can find a file called azure.yml, which is the template that will be used by the Moby build tool to generate the VHT. Now execute the command Moby build output VHT minus name Azure test azure.yml, which means that you're asking the Moby build tool to generate an output of the type VHT with a name Azure test using the azure.yml as the template. The outputs what Moby generates can be of different types such as VHD, VMDK, tar, raw, GCP, which is for Google Cloud Platform, dynamic VHD, etc. So if you see, it has generated a file called Azure test.vht, which was the name what I gave in the command. So that is the VHD what we will be uploading onto Azure. Now to upload the VHD onto the Azure portal from the command line, you need to first log in uh, onto the terminal using the command called az login. So copy this code and enter it into this URL. So and log in using your Azure subscription what you have. So once you log in into your Azure account on the terminal, you will need to set up the following environment variables to upload the VHD file. So the Azure tenant ID and the Azure subscription ID, the values for these variables can be obtained once you log in into your Azure portal account. The Azure client ID and the Azure client secret, you can generate application specific. So I will show you how to generate that one. Once you are logged in into your Azure portal, navigate to Azure Active Directory, and under Active Directory you may see a link called App Registrations. So try to register a new application. I have already generated an application by the name of LinuxKit, and I will be using the same for this demo. So once you generate or register a new application, each application has the application ID associated with it, which is in fact the Azure client ID what you will be required, and the Azure client secret. What you can do is that you can see a link called keys, which helps you to generate uh, application specific keys. So I have already generated the values for this, and I would be using this one. So let's create the virtual machine using the VHD what we have generated. So I would run the command LinuxKit run Azure with the resource group name as LinuxKit and the location East Asia for me, and the VHD file name. So if you see, it has uploaded the VHD onto my Azure account, and it created a virtual machine for me with the name called LinuxKit VM191. Now let's SSH into this virtual machine which got generated. So I would use the SSH command, passing my private key and the DNS name of the virtual machine which got created. So it would ask for the private key to be entered, and once you enter that value you get logged into the virtual machine. So if you see, if I do a command called uname -r, it gives me the generic name of the operating system, which is 4.9.40 LinuxKit. And if I go to the root file system, I see a full-fledged Linux system built for me. So let's see this virtual machine on the Azure portal itself. So if I go to the virtual machine list, I see the LinuxKit VM 191 machine, and it has this set of properties associated with it. That's it for this time. Hope so you enjoyed watching it. See you next time.